Good morning. You join me here at Sentul Depot for Volkswagen Fest 2022, where the German brand is previewing their new electric vehicle. Say hello to the Volkswagen ID.4 being previewed here all weekend, so you can take a look at this car for yourself. But should you not want to, we're going to take a very quick walk around and tell you everything you need to know. My name is AIMAN, ABDULLAH. This is MalaysianMotoring. This is our very quick look at the new Volkswagen ID.4. Now here at Sentul Depot, Volkswagen has brought not one but two ID.4s for you to look at. Now we can confirm that these are the ID.4 Pros, which means under the skin sits a 77 kilowatt-hour battery, powering a 204 PS, 310 Newton-meter motor, which will power this thing from 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds onto a top speed of 160 kilometers an hour. Now, based on the WLTP test cycle, these cars will do about 520 kilometers on a full charge. And ultimately, because these are Pro units, they are very well specified. As you can see on the two models that we have here, it comes with things like IQ lights with the illuminated light bar going all the way across. We've got 19-inch alloy wheels wrapped in Pirelli rubbers. We've even got a glass roof on this car, which means that for the prices that these cars should command, which we reckon should be anywhere between 210 to 250,000 ringgit, they should be very well specified. Now, in terms of other exterior features, you can tell that the ID.4 is ultimately an SUV, which means it sits rather high, it's rather tall, you've got a very long wheelbase with very short overhangs in order to maximize interior space. This should be the ideal car for a family of 5. And in terms of daily commuting, where you'll be thinking about charging, the ID.4 Pro comes fitted with up to 11 kilowatts of AC charging and 125 kilowatts of DC charging. Now, these cars are being offered as a preview only, which means we do not have things such as warranty or even pricing to talk about. All we know is, based on Porsche Holding Salzburg, the official distributor here in Malaysia, we should expect these cars to come in with a 5-year warranty, as does every other Volkswagen sold here. Ultimately, what's very clear with this is it should be a pretty good family car. Now, inside the ID.4 Pro, it is a rather nice place to be. You have these lovely sort of single-piece semi-buckets, as it were, trimmed in what feels like a little bit of leather on the outside and some suede on the inside, which certainly looks very nice. An interesting thing to note is you actually get ISOFIX mounts here on the front seat as well as 2 at the back, which means you can carry up to 3 child seats in this car with ease, which means if you have 2 children, plus obviously a spouse, life gets a lot easier for you. Now, because this is an electric car, obviously the floor is nice and flat, which means you have this nice central tunnel here with some space underneath for you to pass things, and an enormous center console with a wireless charger, 2 USB-C ports, and these nice little dividers to help divide the space up in here should you want a large bin or a couple of cup holders instead. Now, because this is a new generation Volkswagen, you get a new generation Volkswagen infotainment system with only 4 sort of shortcut buttons here on the bottom, and unfortunately all of the HVAC controls are built into the screen, which is slightly irritating. And of course that also means that your light controls are also in a little touch panel on this side. No, don't do that. No, I've turned on the heaters. Now, the interesting thing about this car is you don't get a large sort of digital instrument cluster up here, and so you get a tiny little screen. It's only about that tall here, but that gives you all the pertinent information that you need, such as your speed, as well as your charge and your distance to empty. And you have a little gear selector here, which I'm going to try my best not to move. So you have a little gear selector here that allows you to select your gears very easily just from here, which I think is very interesting. Now, because this is an electric car, and more importantly an electric family car, we should talk about the space in the back, where you will find there is plenty of space for you. So this seat is set up in my driving position. I have plenty of knee room and plenty of headroom. And this is despite the fact that this car comes with a full glass roof, which I can't seem to manipulate because the key is not in the car. That said, however, sat back here, you get a little bit more leather than the seats at the front, but you do still get the suede and this lovely stitching as well. For the 2 outer seats, you get a couple of aircon vents here in the floor with your own climate control setting and a couple of USB-C ports. And if you want even more comfort, you have a fold-down center armrest with a couple of cup holders and even a pass-through should you want to carry long items while still maintaining passengers in here. Now, speaking of carrying things, now back here you've got these very intricate OLED tail lights with another light bar all the way across, making it look very distinctive. And just here, behind the electric tailgate, you will find a very, very large boot indeed, well over 400 litres for that matter. This boot is comparable to even the BMW iX, another electric vehicle in this segment, the price of which is almost double. Now, for those of you wondering, yes, there does appear to be a bit of a lip, but this is actually a false floor. So if I raise this like so, I now have almost no load lip here, and if I were to fold the rear seats 60/40, I'll have a flat load bay extending to a very large amount of space. And of course, with the floor in this position, you have some space under here, and there's even a second false floor for your toolkit and perhaps your charging cables, which obviously are not being shown with this car because people will nick them. So it's pretty practical, don't you think? Now, as I mentioned earlier, these two ID.4s are being previewed at Volkswagen Fest 2022 happening this weekend at Sentul Depot. There are lots of activities for friends and family. You can bring children and adults and they'll all have fun here. On top of the obvious Volkswagen displays, there are also plenty of booths selling all sorts of knickknacks. There are plenty of activities for everyone, and for the slightly more discerning customer, there's also a section over there full of Audis. So what do you think about the new Volkswagen ID.4 Pro? Are you excited to see this car enter the Malaysian market? Let us know in the comment section below. In any case, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care and stay safe.